day has finally arrived. Day number 1 of the 2024 Nebraska Ag Expo taking place at the Sandhills Global Event Center in Lincoln. We are excited to be here. There's a lot going on, and we're here to give you a sneak peek if you have never been here. We really invite you to come out. It's cool.
Yes, it is cool. This is the Sunrise Report, proudly presented by our friends at Crary, as well as the Nebraska Ag Expo. Good to be alongside Alex as we get ready for another year of 17 years of the Nebraska Ag Expo. And this is one of those shows that continues to grow, utilizing every square inch possible here at the Sandhills Global Event Center.
It really does, yes. It is 9.2 acres to give you an idea of how big this show is. That is massive. And you're not joking. They fill every single inch of space they can here. And what's not filled is filled with people waiting for food,
yes,
of course.
That's true. You say 9.2 acres, you're like, well, you put that in context of a quarter of ground, that's not that impressive, but it's all covered space. You know, sometimes it gets cold here in the month of December. Not going to be too bad the next few days, but all inside under one roof. They've got little walkways between buildings. A really nice setup here in Lincoln, Nebraska.
We've got a lot to get to for this morning's Sunrise Report. We're going to talk to a number of people, learn about what they're bringing to this year's show. But one of the cool things that happens each year is the Expo EDU stage, and we're actually looking at it right now as they're getting ready to get some of the first talks underway this morning. What is coming up this morning?
Yeah, let's detail what's coming up on the Expo EDU stage. That includes, it should start off by saying they're from every day from 10 to 3 o'clock. And so this morning they'll kick it off with a discussion of biodiesel and renewable diesel, adding value to your farm, talking about how you can be using biodiesel, the product a lot of farmers are growing in their soybeans, back into your machine. At 12 o'clock, we've got the role of high efficiency fertilizers in sustainable crop production. 1 o'clock, got salt. This sounds like an interesting topic. We're talking about using different salts to improve soil and plant health. So a lot of things going on. Coming up here on the Expo EDU stage. And let's toss to our first segment. What do you say, Alex?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Now, the show doors have not officially opened yet. They'll open up at 9 o'clock this morning, but we had the chance to chat with the show manager. They were getting things moved in and out just before people arrived this morning. Bryce Duskett has more with this year's show manager.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. We're getting ready for day number 1 of the Nebraska Ag Expo here inside the Sandhills Global Event Center. Joining me now is a man behind the scenes to make everything come together. That's Tom Junge. He is the show manager. And Tom, you see the equipment as people are headed out here for day number 1 of the show. It's hard to believe you can get everything in at once. So I want you to kind of pull the curtain back for me and explain, how do you get it all in here?
Okay, well, we try to organize everything as possible, give everybody a move-in schedule. So we try to get all the big equipment in on Sunday, and in about probably in 6-7 hours we can get it all in the buildings. But everybody's got to be coordinated, and we got a good crew of forklift operators, all farmers, that's been doing it for probably 17 years here. So yeah, makes it easy.
17 years of the show, the Nebraska Ag Expo, a couple different names, I guess, at this point. But what do you think continues to make this show successful year after year?
Well, I think some of it is that we recruit really hard, as probably more than any other show. I travel all over the state, going to Canada quite a few times, California. So we're really seeking out some of the new companies to bring them to the Midwest. So I think that's probably the big thing. We'll have 100 new exhibitors here. Over 50 of them will be in the Innovation Hub. But I think that's probably the big thing. And also the year end is really, really good. I mean, I've talked to some of our forklift operators, that's being farmers. They're saying, oh, we have some money to spend yet this year. We have to decide what we want to do, though. And so I think December is really key for that.
I often think this show is perfect because you've got that big equipment that a lot of people will see at their local dealership through town. But you also have, as you mentioned, that innovation hub where a lot of cool technology, kind of the future of agriculture, is on display. Talk about the mix of the big equipment with the new technology.
Yeah, I think the thing that some of our people are excited about is the individual row unit type robotics. So we'll have Barn Owl from Colorado. Igen is from Washington to be here. So I think those are sort of the new things that's going to be coming out along the line. Eco Robotics is here from Switzerland, and with their precision sprayer. So I think there's some of the new things there. I think one thing too that I agree, there's a lot of the new stuff, big stuff in the one building, Deer Case, Egco, New Holland, and such. But a lot of times the farmers like to go see the attachments that they can't see at the dealerships, and that's probably one of the big things about an indoor show. We have a lot more of that smaller stuff that they can add to their equipment without making large expenses.
Well, right behind you is the Expo EDU stage, something you unveiled a couple of years ago. Seems to be quite successful because of it, I think, in part because of its proximity to the food. People over here, the sessions, want to come over and do some learning as part of the Nebraska Ag Expo. Talk about maybe a session or two you're excited about.
Well, I like, the biological world is really interesting. And, it's so new. Everybody's trying it. But what I've read, a lot that 90% of the farmers, once they've tried it, are going to expand and use more of it. So I think it's still a new field. It's sort of like in our innovation hub. We like all the robots and all this type of stuff. But biologicals is still probably one of the new innovations yet in agriculture. I think one of the companies, AgTiv out of Canada, they actually is like a biochar, but they use the exhaust off of a tractor and put it back into the ground. And so it's sort of a unique thing. And I've talked to them a couple of years and was able to get them to come down. And that's one of the presentations.
Well, I'll say so far, congratulations getting everything set up to the way it is. But let's end where we began. How long does it take to then clean up and get out of here? Probably a lot quicker than the setup.
Yeah, usually we're probably done with everything in 4 hours. Yeah. So.
That's impressive. Tom Junkie, the show manager here at the Nebraska Ag Expo, joining us as we get ready for day number 1 of the Nebraska Ag Expo. Alex, I'll send it back over to you.
Always fascinating. Thanks, Bryce. We also get to learn about all of the new technology that is showcased here. He mentioned it, Tom did, the Innovation Hub. Just one of those many companies is called SeisMe, and Bryce also had the chance to visit with them ahead of the show to see what they're bringing to Nebraska.
Visiting with Yale Zhang. He is the Chief Executive Officer of a company called SeisMe that will be at this year's show. Yale, thank you for the time. Tell me, what do you guys do at SeisMe?
We're making a bunch of products for companion animals as well as production livestock. And the first 2 products that we're going to be talking about at the show are going to be a smart sensor that you'll have to, it's behind my hand, you'll have to see when you get there, that you put on 2 ear tags that will detect respiration and heart rates to help give an early indication of respiratory conditions like bovine respiratory disease or, avian flu if that gets worse. We have a second product that we are also in the process of developing that will measure the methane output of a ruminant animal when they're eating or feeding, and it'll help detect decreases in methane as they try interventions like feed additives or dietary changes.
Seems like, Yale, there are more and more smart devices popping up. How do you see you all playing in this space? There's some big competitors out there as well.
Believe it or not, we have reached out to most of them, and we'd love to collaborate and partner with them and add our capabilities to their existing platforms. We're not here to try to reinvent the wheel. We're just here to make a flying car that also time travels.
I like it. Well, as you know, Nebraska is a big agriculture state. A lot of surrounding states will have people driving in as well to the Nebraska Ag Expo. You see the dates here on the screen as you and I are chatting, Yale. As people are making their way through the show, I understand you will be at the Expo. Where can people find you? Maybe ask some questions and see the device face to face.
Absolutely. Come by, sit down for a demo at booth 3204.
You can see that company on the white carpet as part of the Innovation Hub here at the Nebraska Ag Expo. Let's meet another one of the companies that will be occupying that white space, which is in the Livestock Market Pavilion. That's the old P3 if you're not familiar with the new setup here at the Sandhills Global Events Center. Alex had the chance to visit with Abby from Eco Robotics.
The 2024 Nebraska Ag Expo always brings a lot of innovation in the agriculture space. And Abby joins us now with Eco Robotics. They are no exception. Abby, tell us what you guys do in the area of ag technology.
Yeah, thank you. So Eco Robotics is a Swiss company. So we're coming all the way from Switzerland to join you this week at the Nebraska Ag Expo. And Eco Robotics is specializing in artificial intelligence in the realm of agriculture. And we developed a precision sprayer made with our AI technology that can decipher between weeds and crops in a field and only spray where it's needed. So it's reducing the herbicides and pesticides and all of these chemicals that we use in our fields by up to 95%.
Sounds like the idea is farm inch by inch, plant by plant. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, that is correct.
So what exactly do you see this bringing here to the Midwest when it comes to those sorts of things?
So definitely our machine, it's as we started in the US market, we were targeting high value vegetable crops. So we have algorithms actually in our database for things like carrots and broccoli and onions and all of these vegetables. But we also have algorithms for some broadacre crops like corn, for example. And we also do a really nice algorithm for sugar beets. So yeah, really, right now we're just starting out, and we're really looking forward to getting our brand out there, which is why we're here. And also, I'm a native Nebraskan, so I'm really looking forward to bringing this technology to Nebraska.
Wonderful. Well, Abby, for those who are going to make it out to this year's show and want to chat with you guys, how do they get more information and do that?
Yeah, you guys can stop by our booth. We have the machine actually right out there at the expo in the livestock market, and it's actually in the innovation hub. So where all of the newer technologies are out there, and I'll be out there with a few of my colleagues. You're welcome to stop by and see our machine and talk with us.
Again, just one of the many things you can see at this year's Nebraska Ag Expo. There's new technology, there's equipment, all sorts of things you can come out and see. And if you need to do some Christmas shopping, I got a little bit of that
They
too.
got DeWalt tools, they got Milwaukee tools, equal opportunity tool source out here.
It's true.
You can probably see it and hear it behind us. There's a lot of people still making their way into the Sandhills Global Events out there. I tried to say it. Lancaster Event Center used to be the name out here in Lincoln. That's one of the changes you'll see as part of this year's show. New name for the host of the Nebraska Ag Expo. And each of the pavilions, I referenced this with Tom, has a different name now. So you might get a little tripped up, but I'm sure it'll catch on pretty quick.
It will indeed. You might also see, this has been a thing for a few years now, but all the students are going to be here as well. They have a career exploration event where high school students and college students get to come out to all the different booths and just explore all the things that are in the ag industry. So invite you to come out. Doors are opening this morning at 9 o'clock, and I believe they will close at 4. So
9 to 4 today, 9 to 4 tomorrow, and then on Thursday close a little bit early, but that's all right. People want to get a head start on their weekend, I guess.
Yes.
And so you can come out to the Nebraska Ag Expo. Also, want to share with you, if you'd like to save $5 on the price of admission, head on over to the Nebraska Ag Expo website, and that's where you can get pre-registered. Their website is nebraskaagexpo.com.
all right, a big thanks to our sponsors for the Sunrise Report, Crary and the Nebraska Ag Expo. For Bryce Duskett, I'm Alex Makovica. We'll see you out here this morning. Thanks for joining us.